Hello, I'm Ethan Childs, and I am majoring in industrial/slash organizational psychology. So, some of the aspects of a job description for a human resources manager, which I want to advance in, is leading and directing the routine functions, which usually include hiring and interviewing staff, administering pay, benefits, and leave, and enforcing company policies and practices. And not all human resources human resources managers hire and interview new employees, but it is usually a typical um, responsibility that they have. Um, so some of the duties that they perform, um, usually on a day-to-day or monthly basis, is recruiting, interviewing um, new employees. Like I mentioned earlier, um, they oversee the daily flow of the department. Um, it depends on the company. They might have multiple departments to watch over. It might just be one. It just all depends on the size of the company. They provide constructive and timely performance evaluations. Um, these let people know how well and effective their work is uh, turning out to be. Usually at the end of the year, if it's one, maybe if it's a quarterly evaluation, then obviously um, it'd be more often. Um, and they handle discipline and termination of employees based off of the company policy. So usually, they have to abide by work laws if somebody is disobeying what the company policies have established. Um, so for the required education, um, most human resources managers, um, you don't need a master's degree, but some companies may want you to go into graduate school and get that. Um, but for the most part, as long as you have a bachelor's degree and you're able to gain some experience related to that career, then you have a higher chance of getting hired because it's great to have both of the education and the work aspect side to it to include on your resume. And so to the right, there are some classes, psychology and uh, psychological business related um, classes, or just business classes that I still have to take. And I plan on taking at least three a semester so that way, I can get ahead and, um, I can see more applications earlier on, which can help me strive to stay on track. And if I always fail a class, then I always have my off track in winter to retake the class again, just so I don't fall behind. Um, so this is the personal picture of me. This is at Disneyland, and or not Disneyland, Six Flags, and I just like this this picture a lot, just probably just because of the quality, but also just because, um, I mean, there's not a whole lot of photos of me, but it just I just like the sunset and the roller coasters because I think it gets a good view of like what the nicer parts of California. So, because that's where I'm from. So, some of the reasons why I'm majoring in psychology, because um, you can alter your brain processes to break through mental barriers that one might have. Um, Maybe not necessarily in a job setting, but just in a real life application. And so I think helping others see what those mental barriers are and overachieving them makes me feel satisfied because I am able to empathize and then act on what they have given me and then redistribute that energy back at them so they can take the necessary actions needed. Um, such as recovering an addiction, which isn't something I want to enter, but that is a very difficult mental barrier for some people to overcome, and I understand why people would want to um, advance in that career as like a clinical psychologist, for example. Um, the degree in psychology is very versatile. Um, as I mentioned in the book, it, it's more of a degree of understanding what psychology is rather than using it to be applicable to a real life business or school or office setting. It's just the basic standards. Um, but having a great foundation of understanding psychology allows it to expand into different branches, and that's also one of the reasons why um, getting a psychology degree is is good, especially if you want to go to graduate school. So, from what I read in chapter 13, um, why the reason why I picked psychology because I reviewed it to fully understand the right reasons why I'd want to pursue it. Um, like for one of the lists, like people picked it because they didn't think it was easy, and I was, even though I was well aware that it was not easy, me being interested in the subject allowed me to get past the challenges and want to expand my knowledge on it. And, hopefully understanding my own mental barriers would be broken enough to where I can get past them for myself and for others. And that is my presentation.